Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's been a while. I haven't looked to see when the last time I did a podcast, but I feel like it's been a while, which is weird because I've had, obviously there have been so many things that have been going on since my last podcast. So many things. And it certainly has been preventing me from sleeping. That is for sure. The world is just absolutely on one right now. We're just in all kinds of a tizzy. And so certainly has been on my mind and keeping me up. But I've also been really busy. And so I haven't really had time to do a podcast, honestly. So I'm trying to sneak out right now. And oddly, this is going to sound weird, but I have many things on my mind. But I feel like everything on my mind is stuff that's been talked about and talked about and talked about. And we've all heard it. I feel like I'd be repeating what everyone's already been screaming and yelling about right now, which is Renee Good, which is Venezuela, which is Iran, ICE agents. And everybody who listens to my podcast knows what I feel, how I feel. They know, what my thoughts are. And I feel like you can only say things so many times. And then what good is it? Because, either you believe what you believe or you don't. And I'm not in the business of trying to change opinions. I've never tried to change people's opinions. I just speak my mind, let people know my opinion and why I feel the way I do. And if you happen to like what I say and agree, then that is awesome. But I'm certainly not trying to make anybody convert anybody to anything. I just get on here, ramble about the things that keep me up. Sometimes those things are political. Sometimes those things are family orientated. Sometimes those things are work and life orientated, health orientated, whatever. So just briefly on the Renee Good, I do have to say I did not watch the Golden Globes because why? I don't watch the Oscars or any of that. I don't care what celebrities. It's just such a joke. It's a popularity club. It's a joke, and they use that platform to berate and bash people. People that watch their shows, people that pay tickets to go to their movies. And so I think, if you want to use your political, your celebrity stance to raise money for something you believe in and to have a podium to speak on things you believe in, that's great. But I don't think an awards night is the place to do that. I think if you want to open up your own, charity and you want to speak on behalf of that charity and use the fact that you're a celebrity to, now you have people that can listen and follow and all of that, that's fantastic. But I think you should save it for social media, but not award nights, personally. But one thing that I heard and that I saw videos of were celebrities wearing the pins that say, be good. Okay. So far, Democrats want us to behave like George Floyd, who had a criminal record. And they think that a dictator, Maduro, is who we should free and who is good. They all said that they would rather the people protesting to get Maduro out, they were all saying he was a good person. He was a school bus driver. He was a great person. And then meanwhile, the people that actually live in Venezuela are like, what are these liberals talking about? He was not a good person. He was starving us, quite literally starving us, stealing all of our money and not giving it to the citizens. And he was not appointed president. He actually stole the presidency. They did not vote for him. But here we have all these people that claim to care. Henry! Oh, just a minute. All right, sorry. Got to get these guys wrinkled in. And they're sitting here saying that he's a good person when the people that actually, had to live in the same country and deal with him are saying the opposite, and they're praising Trump. And Renee I just don't understand what what characteristics Democrats are looking for, but it appears that you have to be a criminal. You have to be someone that unalives people, because they were also for Anthony, whatever his name was, starts with a K. He went up and unalived the white kid at the track meet, and everybody somehow was starting a GoFundMe page for him. They were living it up in a nice house, and everybody, even though the 17 witnesses that were there said it was him, he, in his own words, admitted guilt. It was on video, and there were witnesses. And somehow, this kid that was just minding his own business because he was white, a straight white guy, the liberals were like, no, we're gonna start a GoFundMe page. And then, of course, there's I apologize, I should know these names of everybody. But there are so many people who have been unalived now at the hands of illegal immigrants or trans or liberals that it's hard to keep track. And it's hard to keep track who's been fired. It's hard to keep track of who's been canceled. It's hard to keep track of who's had been assaulted, been verbally and physically assaulted. There are way too many to keep track of. And yet we're talking about being good. You don't get to say be good when your behavior is anything but. Don't go around telling people to be good when you're sitting here spouting off things like the president's a pedophile and then saying all these claims that, again, people like to just do the whole witch hunt thing and finger point and then act like those are facts. Just because you go around and make a statement does not mean that your statement is a fact or true in any way. I can go around claiming lots of things. I can claim that I have larger boobs than I do. I can claim that I'm skinnier than I am. I can claim many, many things. Does not make it true. I can go point fingers and make accusations, and now somehow people have decided that if someone claims something, that's now a fact. And here's this guy, Mark Ruffio or whatever. I don't even know who the dude is. Clearly he needs attention. Clearly he doesn't get enough attention. And all of these people that are like, tax the rich. The rich should be paying this. I would bet you all the money that when the lottery was up to something like, what was it, $8 billion or whatever the hell, no, it was up there. It was a lot of money. It was billions of dollars, billions with the B, plural. Do you think that if a liberal won that money, and when they see how much they're going to get taxed on it, that they're like, you know what? I love that. You should tax me more. You should take 75% of my money. And then whatever's left over, according to the liberals, I should just be giving away to other people. So I should be taxed even more, which again, you guys can, there's a thing called ChatGPT. 1% of the population is paying, no, it's 5%. 5% of the population is paying for 48%. So the rich are already, again, feel free to say, hey, ChatGPT, how much do the wealthy get taxed? How much do they get taxed in comparison to low income or people not working? How much is it in comparison? How much and that's taking into account like how much we're understanding that if you make a low income and you already are making a low income, you shouldn't be taxed half of that. But not only do you barely get taxed, but then you get money back. And if you're not working, somehow you get money back from the government, which blows my mind because you didn't put any money into the government. How am I getting taxed more when you're not working and I'm already getting taxed and owing money on top of that? So I was getting 23% taken out of my taxes, and I'm not even upper middle class. I was just middle class. Just middle class, not upper, just middle class. And I was getting 23% of my taxes. So the wealthy get something like 40% of their taxes. That's bullshit. And you guys, if you won the lottery, would not want them to take 40%. And that's what they're going to do. And then they're going to turn around on top of taking half of that, because if you decide to take it in a lump sum, they give you, they take 40% of it already right off the top. Then you get taxed on top of whatever is left over at about 40%. So you're left with pretty much nothing. And then according to you guys, on top of that, you should give what you're left with, not to pay your bills, not to relish in the fact that you have money and finally be able to pay your bills. No. You should give it to those that aren't working, that are barely working, that are just crying over everything. Mosby! Good boy, yes. And I know that none of you would do that. And you shouldn't have to. I don't think that you should. But when you're sitting there going, tax the rich more, they should be taxed more, you don't even know how much they get taxed. You're just saying that. I will bet you so much money that 85% of the people that say tax the rich more have no fucking clue how much the rich get taxed. And 95% of those people would not want to get taxed if they were the ones that were rich as much as they're getting taxed. Especially not more. And they definitely wouldn't go around and give even more to charity. And they don't have to. If you want something, don't be jealous. Go out and get off your butt and make it happen. Why do you think that all rich people just walked into their money? Sure, there's people that win the lottery. Sure, there are people that inherit money. That's probably 1% of the 5% of people that are considered wealthy. The rest of them had to do this thing called earn it. J.K. Rowling did not wake up and, just have money. She actually worked on her book. She had a vision. She sat down. She made it happen. She was turned down. People didn't want to publish her book. But she didn't take no for an answer. She didn't give up. And today's day and age, there's really no reason not to succeed. Especially with all the free handouts. So you're welcome to those of you who are getting a huge majority of my taxes. And then on top of that, I have to turn around and not get taxes back at the end of the year. No, they're like, you still haven't paid enough. Yeah, I have. I've contributed more than enough. Go wake these other people that aren't working, get their butts up and have them start working now. Because I'm kind of done, But be good. Just stop with that. Look into her. She wasn't a saint. This was something that she created, and you can be pissed off all you want. Hey, even Henry's mad. You can be pissed off, and you can be offended, and you can go, oh, that ICE agent. That same ICE agent was drugged down the road by another car at an illegal immigrant that was coming at him and drug him with his car. She should have already, people don't get that the illegal part was already done before she even put her foot on the gas. Before that, that's where people need to stop with the whole, she wasn't turning toward him. First of all, she was already committing a crime when they told her to get out of the car numerous times, and she didn't. They didn't tell her just one time, which is all they had to tell her. They told her multiple times. She didn't listen. They told her to get out of the car multiple times. She didn't listen. They told her not to drive off. She didn't listen, and then her wife told her, drive, baby, drive. And whether the steering wheel was pointed toward his direction or not, guess what? Body camera footage, cell phone footage, and why hasn't the wife turned in her cell phone footage? She was recording the entire thing. Why hasn't the wife been like, look, I got this on video. It shows clearly that the agent was not even close to in the way. It shows clearly my wife's innocence. Nope. Her cell phone footage, oddly, is just nowhere on the internet. Her cell phone footage that she was recording, and right there, she was right there. She got the best cell phone footage next to the agent's body cam, which clearly, factually, and another camera that was someone's like ring cam clearly shows. Not to mention the guy went to the hospital and he actually had injuries. The agent went to the hospital and had injuries. So she was, whether it was trying to or not, she did hit him. You don't take your vehicle and press on the gas, especially when they've told you to stop. So whether the intent was to hit him or not, that doesn't fucking matter, people. Intent is out the window. What matters is she was told repeatedly to stop and to get out of the car. What matters is she was impeding, obstructing a federal investigation, I guess we'll call it. They were in the middle of conducting they were in the middle of doing their job that they were told by the president to do. I don't know who Tim Walz and Jacob Frey think they are. I don't know who these people think they are going, you can't come to my cities. Says who? You're the fucking governor. You get yourself in check. You don't get to make that call, governor. Sorry. Not your call. Federal trumps state. And it certainly trumps being a mayor. Jacob Frey and Tim Walz just don't want people. They want the eye off the ball because they know that they're dirty. They know, especially Jacob Frey, whatever. He definitely, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion, he's got the dirtiest hands of them all. He's best friends with all of the Somalians. He's the one telling ICE agents to fuck off. He's the one condoning all of this chaos. He's contributing to the rhetoric. He wants the eye off the ball because he knows that this fraud investigation is going to lead back to him. And Tim Walz is the same way. He loves having Renee Good be unalived. The Democrats don't care that she was unalived. They are happy about it because it gives them something else to focus on and it tries to get the eye off the ball. I'm sorry, but I don't think a single one cares because, again, if they did, they would care about all these other people that have been unalived. They didn't care about Charlie Kirk's kids at all. I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk didn't make the decision to do anything. He made the decision to wake up, be kind and respectful, and do something that was very legal. And he wasn't trying to assault anybody. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He was just talking calmly, respectfully, not assaulting anybody, not committing any type of a crime whatsoever. Same with all of these people that were killed at the hands of illegal aliens. So all ICE is trying to do is get illegal aliens and dangerous people off the streets. And then police are trying to get people that live here, actual American citizens that are committing crimes, off of the streets. Because, of course, it's not just illegal immigrants that commit crimes. I'm well aware that actual American citizens commit crimes too. That's why we don't defund the police. Because it's all fun and games until you need the police. And we all know that you're going to talk big talk and you're going to be like, defund the police until you fucking need a police officer. So it's just insane. It's gotten to the point where it's literally people with a brain versus people without a brain. And I know, I'm like, I accept everybody, and I do. And if you don't have a brain, but you're still a kind person, and you still have good morals and values, great, we'll be friends. Again, I don't care if you're trans. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you identify as a tree. I don't care if you identify as a truck. I don't care what you dress like. I don't care what your religious preference is. I don't care if you're a liberal. I care if you are a hypocrite. I care if you're a liar. And I care if you believe that someone being unalived is okay because of their beliefs. I don't agree that kids should be mutilated. I don't agree that kids should be sex trafficked. I don't agree that men should be in women's bathrooms or sports. And I don't agree that you should unalive, bully, censor, or fire people because of a shirt that they're wearing that you don't like, because of a religion that they believe in you don't like. Again, unless someone is causing harm to you. I don't think a Republican, a white person, black person, brown, short, fat, liberal, Republican, Catholic, atheist, nobody should be bullying, threatening, and unaliving anybody and censoring and firing people based on beliefs. Now, I do agree that businesses have a right to fire if you are out there and you are doing something that they believe is against their code of conduct. And their code of conduct may be they don't like it when you're rejoicing in someone's assassination. And they have a right as a company to go, we don't want that look for our business, especially if that business is caring for human beings. And you agree when you take that job. So those things are on my mind, but I think I feel the way that people that have a heart, people that have empathy, people that have respect, people that have dignity and grace and pride, I feel that we don't want to have people censored, unalived, bullied, canceled because of beliefs. And anyone that promotes that, I'm not on board with. And I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that to your face. I'll tell you that no matter who you are, I'll tell you right to your face, you're not a good person. If you rejoice in the celebration of someone's death. Now, when Osama bin Laden died, I was sad for his family, and I was not rejoicing. Now, I was also not sad. I didn't shed a tear. I was happy. In my own head, I was happy. I was like, good, he was a bad person. But I didn't go around rejoicing and saying, I felt bad. I did feel bad for his family. But again, that's a little different when someone who has killed many people and tortured many people, you're not going to feel bad for a serial killer usually, or pedophiles. I'm just saying, if you, though, are actively going out and rejoicing in someone's death that didn't do anything but speak his mind and have his beliefs and try to get the world to be together. Because again, everybody out there that's like, oh, he was a racist, please stop with your nonsense. For a fact, I will bet you, again, 90% of the people that don't like Charlie Kirk and call him a racist and a bigot and say all the same regurgitated things because no one has a vocabulary, no one knows any other words, to the point they have to make up words like Islamiphobe. You think that if you add phobic, which means you're scared of things, which is the stupidest fucking thing to say. No one is scared of a transgender person. They're scared of a man dressed as a transgender person coming into the female bathroom when it's an enclosed space and you're in a vulnerable position, but you're not scared of them as in, you're scared of maybe the man. But anyway, I digress. You don't get to sit there and, what was I saying? You don't get to sit there and act like because you make up words that somehow someone are these things when, what was I saying? You don't get to call people a bigot and all of that when I would bet you $1,000. Oh yeah, that you haven't even watched a single full video. You've probably seen little clips that liberals have put together to make it sound like Charlie Kirk is saying or doing something that is racist and bigoted. But if you actually go back and watch the entire video, and if you watch all of his videos, you will see that he was not at all remotely racist. But again, 90% of you, I will bet so much money that even 95, I'll go so far to say is 95% of the people that don't like Charlie Kirk and claim that he's all these terrible things have only seen the teeny tiny little edited, tiny little clips, or has read the teeny little statements that he has said without the context, because context is very important. Very, 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 very important. And without watching a single full video. Because those that actually have got on social media and went, "Ooh, my bad. Wow. Oops. He was not even a little bit racist. Not even a tiny bit racist. Not at all." So you just say stuff. Very embarrassing. Like, don't you wake up and go, "Wow, I probably shouldn't show my face because I am embarrassing." Like, I go around acting like I know what I'm talking about when I've never read the book. I don't even know what I'm protesting. So many hundreds of videos where protesters admit they have no idea what they're protesting. They don't know. They don't know what a woman is. They abort babies. They mutilate kids. They allow for a pedo flag, pedos to have their own flag and say that they have rights too. They have transgenders with their own flag and say, "Come into the bathrooms, come into the locker rooms, watch our minor children undress. Watch them pee. Watch them undress." We like it. We like to mutilate and abort kids, so why not let them be sex trafficked and also watched by adult men? And why not allow women who may have, been sexually abused and had issues in their life? And even if you're not sexually abused, it's hard enough to be naked in front of a strange woman. That's already vulnerable and weird, let alone to be naked in front of a strange man. So, these are the things that liberals promote. For women to be in vulnerable positions where they can be raped and abused and unalived. For kids to be in vulnerable positions where they can be touched and looked at by pedophiles. They want pedophiles to have their own flags. They want to burn our flag while still collecting all of the money from the government. They hate rich people, but they want rich people money. They hate dictators, but they're wanting a dictator free. They say no kings, and then in the next breath, they want a dictator to be free. They don't care about the Venezuelans sitting here saying over and over, "We don't want this." They don't care about the fact that the Venezuelans are praising and thanking Trump. So they don't care. Because again, if they cared, they would listen to the fact that the Venezuelans are on Trump's side and they're happy and they don't want the dictator back. So if you cared about people, you would go, "Oh, this is a good thing. They're freed. They're no longer going to starve." Because if they go to their protests and they look around and they see that only white people are there, you would think that would make them go, "You know what? There are only white people. There are no brown-skinned people. There's nobody from Venezuela. There's not a single person from Venezuela here." And then there were protests where there were people from Venezuela, but they were protesting the people protesting. They were like, "Hey, we love Trump. Hey, stop protesting. Hey, we're Venezuelans." And then these white liberals had the fucking audacity to be like, "Listen to me. I'm from America. I have never, ever, ever known dictatorship, or I've never known poverty, and I've never known anything but privilege. And I'm white. And I'm going to tell you, who actually lives in Venezuela, who actually has dealt with a dictator, who has actually been starving and couldn't get jobs. I'm going to tell you how to feel. I'm going to tell you what you went through. I'm going to tell you how you should feel, and then claim that I'm here for you." Why does that not make a liberal go, "Wow, none of the Venezuelans are on our side. None of the Venezuelans want us here. None of the Venezuelans are on board with this dictator being put back into their country. And if we were truly on their side, we would listen to them." But they don't. If they truly loved kids, they wouldn't want a pedophile flag. MAPS? MAPS, that's the flag I'm talking about. In case people are like, "They don't have a flag." Oh, yes. Yep. They wouldn't be on board with mutilating children. They wouldn't be on board with taking parents' rights away and allowing their children to be on hormones and on drugs that cause them to have massive side effects, and take away the parent rights and then claim that they're minors and that they need parental rights for everything else. But when your kid is talking about cutting off their penises or cutting off their boobs, somehow parents don't need to know that. Because liberals don't care about children. And they don't care about Americans because, again, all these people that have been stabbed and unalived, all these children, all these beautiful children, they don't care about, or they would be protesting. So that's on my mind. That is definitely on my mind. That's definitely keeping me up. It's just a sad world when you side with criminals and you want the criminals to win and you want the dictators to win and you want children to suffer and you want Venezuelans to suffer. And now in Iran, they're having protests and people are protesting and getting killed. And again, the liberals don't care. They care about being good. And then all the while they're wearing badges say be good. What the fuck are you talking about? You're the most evil pieces of shit humans. You are garbage people that are sitting there telling others how to be good. You're telling Venezuelans how to behave. You have the audacity to tell a Venezuelan how to behave while claiming that you were on their side protesting for them. You were claiming to be pro-children while you were against their parents, while you were wanting to mutilate them, while you were wanting to abort them. What are you talking about? Get your act together. Your party is failing. The statistics show it. And then you're constantly with COVID. You're trying to kill everybody with COVID, purposely giving out misinformation. CNN, these people are giving out misinformation after misinformation, and they should be fined. People should be fined. The company should be fined. And they shouldn't be allowed. They should have to do a retraction that everybody can see, not one at 3 o'clock in the morning or in the newspaper on this teeny tiny thing. No, it should be like, I screwed up, and it should be on every single segment, letting everybody know that they screwed up, what they screwed up on, and then give accurate information, and they should be fined every fucking time. And I don't know why they're allowed in the White House press conference. If they can't report, why let them in? They just change it to whatever they feel like saying. And then the elderly are so used to journalists back in the day actually having integrity, actually not being biased, actually giving facts and not opinions, that they think CNN is correct. So liberals want to promote misinformation about vaccinations, about COVID. They shut down all the mom and pops. They promote anybody making any money, unless it's them not doing anything. They promote people that have fake disabilities. They promote fraudulent people making money, criminals making money, illegal aliens making money, people that claim they're disabled but not, people that can work but choose not to. All those people, the liberals are great with making money, but not the people that actually earn it. It's just weird. I don't understand how anyone can be a liberal. I don't. I'm trying to be accepting. If you're a liberal that actually thinks all of that is wrong, then again, hey, I'm your friend. If you're a liberal that thinks that, unaliving people because of you're wearing a MAGA hat is wrong, or because you're wearing a Biden hat is wrong, I think this is wrong for Republicans. Everything I'm saying, I think, is wrong for a conservative. I think is wrong for anybody. And I don't think conservatives are perfect, and I don't think Trump is perfect. I think almost all Republicans will admit that Trump is not the best, most eloquent speaker. He does tend to intentionally try to piss people off and, be a troll, and he likes to sometimes instigate, and that's not okay. There's a time and a place. That's not okay. He should, suck it up as president. Oh, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Just everybody, come on. Get yourself together. Clean your own doorstep first. Let's get your own cobwebs out of your closet. Let's clean out those skeletons out of your closet first. Let's not worry if someone has a hat or an article of clothing. How can an article of clothing offend you? All you have to do is close your eyes, look the other way, keep walking, keep scrolling, whatever it is. People act like they have to stare at something or they have to be around it. No, you don't. Forcing someone is what the liberals are doing, and that's why the conservatives are getting mad. No one gives a shit if you're gay or straight or what you love. We just care when everybody else tries to force it. Just like you guys absolutely lose your fucking minds when someone wears a hat that you don't like, but yet you're going to shove vaccines down our throat. You're going to inject us with stuff. You're going to inject our children with stuff, all while screaming, my body, my choice. Fuck you. It's whatever fits you. You literally went from no kings to wanting a dictator free. You went from electric cars are great, the environment's great, the electric cars are great, to setting them on fire, which is terrible for the environment. So shut up. You literally have absolutely no values and no beliefs because you change them every day, which means you don't have values. Values stay the same. Your morals stay the same. You don't change them every fucking day. You don't change them with the blow of the wind. You're literally basing it on, if Trump said oxygen was bad for you, oxygen's good for you. If Trump was like, oxygen is so good for you, you guys would find a way to go drown yourself. You would. Look how many people took Tylenol when they were pregnant. They should be charged with child abuse. You're intentionally taking shit just to try to prove what point that you're a moron, because that's what you are. And you're a bad parent. I'm going to say that. You're a terrible shit parent if you are intentionally taking stuff for the sole purpose of to try to prove Trump wrong. That makes you a bad parent. Just like injecting your children with a bunch of hormones, just like having your children identify as something before they're 18. You're a bad parent. You're not a good parent. I don't care if this makes people mad. You're a horrible parent if you allow your kids to mutilate themselves before they are even fully developed, before they've even got all their hormones balanced, before they can wrap their head around what they're talking about. That is mutilating your children, and you are allowing them to make decisions that we don't even allow them to vote or drink or get tattoos or so many things unless you are 18 to 21. And I think, honestly, it should be 25 because for men, they're not fully developed until 25. And if you still feel the way you do at 25, then go for it. If you still feel that way at 25, then that means maybe you truly are transgender or whatever. And maybe you identify as whatever the opposite of what you were born as. It's just bizarre that people can be on board with all of this mutilation and taking away rights and then blaming guns and not people. Again, that's like saying that if people drink and they get into a car accident because they were drinking, no one blames the car, ever. No one ever blames the car. And this has been said over and over again, and liberals have nothing to say to that because it's a true fact. It's not the car's fault. It's the person that made the choice to get behind a motorized vehicle while they were intoxicated. It's the person's fault. It's the human's fault. These are very basic things that if you can't comprehend, you have a low IQ. And again, I'm going to say that, and I'm not going to apologize because it's true. Again, if you believe in mutilating children, you're a bad person. This isn't a bad thing to say. I don't believe in mutilating children. I don't believe in cutting off their body parts. I'm sorry. I believe in promoting that you are beautiful the way you are. Whatever happened to I Was Born This Way, Lady Gaga? Whatever happened to Meghan Trainor and Lizzo saying how, oh, fat is great, fat is great. Don't call me fat, you fatphobe, racist bigot, you horrible, terrible, no good piece of shit. Call me overweight. Lizzo was overweight. She was morbidly obese, not just overweight, morbidly obese, not just obese, morbidly obese. I'm going to say that again. Lizzo was morbidly obese. That doesn't mean she's not a good person. That doesn't mean she's a terrible person. That doesn't mean she's not beautiful. That doesn't mean she's not capable. But she was morbidly obese, and not saying that is detrimental to her health. And if we love people and we care about people, we don't feed into things that are going to kill them or hurt them. We don't let kids touch hot things because it hurts them. Now, if they're like, well, I don't think that's hot. I think that's cold. Okay, Pookie Bear, whatever you think. And then you let them burn themselves. Oh, I believe in going out in front of traffic because I don't believe that cars hurt. I identify as a slab of cement, so I don't think it's going to hurt me. Okay, Pookie Bear, go run out in traffic. Come on. Lizzo, I'm sure, is still, I'm not saying that people that are morbidly obese shouldn't love themselves and shouldn't think that they're worthy. You are. But I'm saying you're morbidly obese, and that's bad, and you should do something about it, or your health is going to suffer. That's a fact that people should know and not coochie-coo about it. So if you're on board with allowing people to hurt themselves and allowing children to make decisions that affect them for the rest of their lives, they're irreversible, that is a bad human being. If you believe in rejoicing at someone's assassination, you're a bad human being. I'm sorry. That doesn't make me a bad person. And you don't think anyone, again, that argues that's like, oh, unaliving people is great. Mutilating children is great. Sex trafficking is great. Taking away rights from parents is great. Unaliving someone because you don't like someone's shirt is great. Some black teenager, unaliving a white kid for no reason is just great. How can you say that? How can you say be good and say that Renee Good was great and then wear pins when I bet you know nothing whatsoever about her? You're following a fucking trend, and that makes you a lemming with, again, proof that you don't have brain cells. I don't know how rugged individual, we don't want rugged individualism. Yes, we do, because rugged individualism are who the inventors are, or who people that invent the airplane are. They went outside the box. They didn't follow the norm. They didn't follow other people. That's how inventors and scientists and people pave ways, because they're individuals that don't think like the hive. If you're hive-minded, you're not fucking getting anything done. I mean, hives, it's just a worker bee thing. Individualism is what our country, diversity, is based on, you moronic people. So one minute you're like, diversity, no labels. And now we're, no labels for everything. You must be trans, and you must be gay, and you must be black. And if you're not those things, you're garbage. And we have to put labels on those things. We have to put a label on everything, to the point that we're LGBTQ 27B negative 80 times 4 to the fourth power. And no one ever knows what that means. When you ask people what all the things stand for, they're like, I don't know. Well, then don't ask other people to get it or understand it when you don't understand it. Just like you can't say you identify as a woman when you don't even know what a woman is. But it used to be diversity is great. Now it's, no, we don't want rugged individualism. Oh, so which one is it? Because you guys flip-flop like a dead fish, like a fish that's just been put on a boat, and how it flip-flops, that's you guys. I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person that reads up on things, and I form opinions because I listen to all points of view. I listen to liberal, individual, Republican. I listen to all points of view. I watch all news channels, and then I use my brain and I form opinions. But one thing I will never agree on is mutilating children and taking away our constitutional rights and allowing men to have women in vulnerable positions and have kids be mutilated and have illegals be in this country, especially ones that are committing fraud and using all of my hard-earned money that I have to work hard for, and I can't even have insurance because other people that aren't working get it all. And I can't have food because other people that aren't working or illegal and don't pay taxes get it all. That's not wrong of me to think that. And if you were the one working, you would think that. And again, if you won the lottery, I guarantee you that none of you are like, oh, I'm going to give it all to charity because money is evil. Yeah, you think money is evil and you think being rich is evil until you become rich, until you have money. And then suddenly, you don't fucking think it's so evil now, do you? People are allowed to be happy that they are successful, and they're allowed to relish in their success that they earned. And if you have a problem with that, who cares? I'll be on a yacht somewhere being like, have all the problems you want, but I got 99 problems and you ain't one of them, especially out on my yacht. That is exactly how I would be. There'd be a lot of people that I would help out. There would be a lot of charities I would donate to, mainly animals. Pretty much all of them animals. And then I'd help our veterans. I'd help veterans and I'd help animals. And I'd probably help addiction, people with addiction, like help rehab, get some rehab facilities up. But people won't get to tell me who to donate to, or if I don't want to donate, if a rich person doesn't want to donate, they don't have to. Just because you're rich, you don't have to. You're not obligated to do anything. And again, I'm going to ask you, what are you doing to help? You're asking everybody else to help. What exactly are you doing? What are these protests and riots doing? I've never gotten a response. No one has ever answered that. Riots and protests that are going on right now that are supposed to free Venezuelans and free the dictator and help Venezuelans and help Renee and help all these people that they do protests and help George Floyd. Who has it helped? Have you helped any illegal aliens? Have you helped them get citizenship? Have you helped them fill out the paperwork and pay the fees? Probably not. Again, I'm going to say a good 99% haven't helped anybody with anything. Have you helped any illegal alien become a citizen? Have you taken an illegal alien in? Have you helped a homeless person? Have you helped anyone from Venezuela? Have you talked to anyone from Venezuela? Have you had any type of a conversation with someone that lives in Venezuela or used to live in Venezuela? Again, I will say 99% of the liberals out there, no. Have you watched an entire Charlie Kirk video and watched his videos? Not the edited ones. I'm talking actual Charlie Kirk videos that show him actually talking, not clips. No. So be quiet. Let the adults talk. Let the grown-ups talk that have brains. All the rest of you sit down, drool, wear your bibs, drool, and sit there and look dumb. Take up time, waste space, take up oxygen that the rest of us need because you're useless. I'm sorry, I'm going to say these things because I'm tired of people being coddled. No one cares when I'm blonde and comes up to me and tells me blonde jokes. And there's some really rude ones. And no one gives a shit. They just say them. Or they call me a slut because I'm blonde. No one cares about my feelings that I'm mega if I'm wearing a shirt, a Charlie Kirk one, or a mega. People come up and say whatever they want. So I'm not going to be worried about your feelings. Are you worried about mine? Again, ask yourself, are you worried about mine? And if all these things that you care about, what if it was reversed? What if Trump and the Republicans did any of the things that are going on right now? How would you feel? You know you would hate it. You know you wouldn't allow it. So again, you are a hypocrite, and I don't care what hypocrites think. So I'm not the one. Never been the one. Anyone that knows me knows I literally could not care less what anybody thinks of me whatsoever, except for my family and my good close friends. Anyway, on that note, you know what I do care about? You know what I do appreciate and care about? Those that listen to my podcasts like this and go, damn, and still listen and still tune in. And then tell other people, hey, you should check this chick out. She's on one. She's kind of unhinged, but you should check her out. I appreciate so much everybody that's been listening. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I get on a ride. I know I get, on tangents, but, and I still don't have my intro and outro. Still don't have my intro and outro. You can still hear all the background, but you listen no matter what, because you're troopers, because you're loyal, because you're badass mofos, and you deserve high fives and a dance, little dance for you. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, shout it from the rooftops. Thank you so, so much. What's up, Singapore? What's up, Hong Kong? What's up, Canada and France? You guys are killing it. Next to the States, I've got Singapore and France and Canada. And again, I pick on Canada and France all the time. So what up, guys? You rock. Thank you so, so much. I hope that remember to control the things you can. Remember to breathe. Remember to get some fresh air. When things are feeling a little out of sorts, just remember to stop for a moment, take a deep breath, prioritize what you can control, and let go of the rest. Until next time.